I hate to admit this, but I used to be one of those people at the gym who would see someone walking on a treadmill or the track and instantly think, why would you even waste your time doing that? I, like so many others, was of the mindset of, if it's not brutally hard, then why even bother? When I started learning how cardiovascular training actually works, I realized that walking is one of the best forms of cardio exercise as well as the most overlooked. And the best part, it's free. So you're probably saying to yourself right now, but my heart rate won't be high enough. I need to feel like I got my butt kicked. It won't make me sweat, so that must mean it's not doing anything. Walking is for old people. The fact is, walking is not a waste of time. There's this misconception that doing high intensity boot camp workouts are the ultimate way to get in good shape. The fact of the matter is, you should only be doing those workouts maybe 1-2 times a week max, and only if your body has the prerequisites for it, which many of us do not. So let's take a look at some of my favorite benefits of walking that just might surprise you. When most people think of cardio, everyone immediately starts envisioning huffing and puffing on a spin bike, elliptical, or even running. However, most people I come across don't have the heart health required to get the most out of these modalities. Let me explain. The heart is just like any other muscle in the body. It has to be trained in a specific, systematic order for it to progress the right way. If it was your first time ever in the gym, you wouldn't just grab the heaviest weight and start doing curls or bench press, am I right? No, of course not. You would slowly work your way up, building the capacity of the tissues that you're training, otherwise injuries would set in. The heart is the same way, and walking allows you to strengthen it by increasing its size, thus reducing the amount of work it must do in order to pump blood throughout the body. The larger and more efficient your heart pumps, the better your cardiovascular system you possess, aka better aerobic capacity. So, how do you know where your heart health is at? If your resting heart rate, how many times your heart pumps per minute while resting, isn't below 70, then you definitely don't need to start doing high intensity exercise like spin class, boot camps, or even running. Instead, train your heart with walking by slowly increasing your pace and distance until your resting heart rate drops to below 70. Then you can go progress to that elliptical, cycling, or whatever cardio you prefer. If it's been a while since you've been getting after your workouts, whether because of injuries or just life got in the way, then walking is the easiest and safest way to get back into fitness. People usually try to pick up where they left off in terms of exercise, but the body will not respond well to this. Most likely you'll do way too much, way too soon, and get put on the injury sidelines. The beauty of walking is that it's low impact and has very few prerequisites, meaning just about every human being walking the face of the earth can do it. I like to think of it as the lowest hanging fruit to get total body movement in without putting too much stress on the body and heart. Begin with 15-20 minutes a day at a nice leisurely pace and start building a solid foundation to get back on your fitness journey. Do you want to know one of the biggest weight loss secrets? It's walking. To understand this, let's take a quick dive into exercise physiology. Your body predominantly uses either fat or carbohydrates for energy. The more vigorous the exercise, the higher percentage of carbohydrates are used as the energy source. The lower the intensity is, the more fat is used. Now, since walking is low intensity, it uses almost pure fat as the energy source, where those heavy-duty boot camp classes use almost all carbs. Therefore, by adding more walking to your routine, you allow the body to tap into those fat reserves we all have, thus helping you lose fat. And yes, it really is that simple, so skip the fads and get back to the basics. Are you a gym rat who constantly crushes your workouts day in and day out? You're probably wondering, how can walking help you, right? The short answer is that it will help aid in recovery, which in the long run will support you in improving performance. Let me explain. If you're attending spin class multiple times per week, hitting the weights 3 or 4 days per week, and even doing high intensity cardio training, you're probably suffering from some of the following side effects. Having a hard time sleeping, you're plateauing in your weight loss and or your strength, you have a severely reduced or increased appetite, you're irritable or you're cranky all the time, or you have excessive fatigue. Those are all symptoms of overtraining. And the reason behind all of this is that you're training at too high of a heart rate too often. Yep, it's a real thing. You want that balance between working your heart and getting your blood pumping, but you also don't want that poor guy to be at 100% all of the time. Training at max heart rate should only be done twice per week, max. And that's only if you have a really good aerobic base. Instead, replace a few of those workouts with a nice long walk, keeping your pace high but not to the point where you're running. Maybe those professional speed walkers are onto something, am I right? Just remember that low and slow will help your body recover better and your nervous system won't be shot by the end of the week. I'm not saying walking is the end all be all of exercise and that's the only thing you should be doing. However, if it's been a while since you've been working out, or even if you're a serious gym beast, walking should be a staple of your exercise routine. After working with thousands of clients over the years who are just trying to be healthy, walking is usually the biggest weapon to reacquiring their health. You can get started with a 20-minute walk once a day. Your intensity doesn't really matter. What matters is that you get moving. You can put on a podcast, call a friend or a parent, or even listen to some chill music and use the wonderful act of walking to get your body back to normal.